How are we all doing? Should probably check the audio just to make sure we're all up and running fine. Right. Hello, hello, testing, testing. All seems good to me. How are you all doing? Right, so as the stream title suggests, I am making a new Freeplay map. Finally, it's been a while. I'll explain my thought process with the map at the moment. So I want to make a map that's going to work. It's going to work slightly. Right, Medium Burnick. Good to have you with us, back with us. I'll explain the thought process behind the map at the minute. So I'm working on a map which will work with alliances, which is something I'm going to build into Freeplay. I haven't done it yet, but I will do. Well, the alliances are already in, but alliance starting positions. So the idea is that if you're allied with someone, you will be put on the same side as them. Obviously, if you're allied with two, I can't do that entirely. But I'm also going to make something that's cut off here, and then if you're allied, it opens up so you can get to each other if you're allied with the person on the other side. Right, Plasma Gamer, do we get to choose the starting position for your colony in the future? It was never my intention to be able to choose the starting location. If enough people say it's something they want, then I'll consider it. I suppose on some maps, some starting locations are more advantageous than others, particularly on Towhead. On Towhead, the edge positions are really bad. But I do intend to come back to Towhead to even that one out a bit more. Okay. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get on with it. You can have a look at some of the map building tools we put together for it. Okay, so I originally had a ramp down the center for each side, but then I reconsidered because if you're not allied with them, which is fully possible in Freeplay, then the last thing you want is to be sharing a ramp. So I'm going to make a ramp for each side. I'll do what I intend for this side, and then I'll copy it onto the other side. Okay, so let's grab this ramp. This one will do. Right, that cross means it hasn't connected, and that's because of the shape of this. So I'm gonna trim off a few of these. That was too many. We also didn't apply. There's going to be a lot of this today, a lot of going over The map editor isn't perfect. There we go. So that should allow me to connect that to there. I got a score of 237,000 on Freeplay. Oh, very good. He's been playing for a while. I like the RNG in it, but just to make it smartly decide where an icon you go. Yeah, I'm gonna go on the. I'm gonna implement it. I'm gonna retrofit it into the other ones as well. So, in this one, the allied colony will be on the same side as you. I'm not sure what to do with the dunes because it's a bit funny in the dunes. I might do top and bottom on the dunes. I think that'll make sense. And same with Towhead. Yes, probably same with Towhead as well, top and bottom. And the same with Embankment. And this one's got its left and right split. In the future. Hello, Pick of Geff. Good to have you with us. Hello, Yulipa. Good to have you with us. In the future, will the AI in Freeplay use their extra workers to get food instead of just waiting for new ones to spawn? I imagine so. The AI in Freeplay at the minute it was fairly quickly put together, just so it existed there and people can give it a go. In the future, we intend to have them design their own underground and that sort of thing as well. But that one's probably further down the line now because we decided we don't want to spend too much time on it whilst we're focusing on building the campaign. So possibly is what I would say. It will either be more intelligent with its groups, what it does with the groups, because at the minute it's just got literally two groups split. It's got 3 groups. It's got some that it just always keeps underground. It's got some which it uses to gather, and some which it uses to either reinforce gathering or defend. So quite often the computer will end up with quite a lot of ants underground because they're not defending anything. Which obviously isn't ideal. So yeah, there's loads more work that can be done on the AI, and we will revisit it at various points. I might have this slanted, like that sort of thing. Maybe not that extreme. That, yeah, that'll probably work. Freeplay's a funny one because I want to work on it more, but at the same time, I recognise that Freeplay isn't the main game mode. Our game mostly is focused on the campaign, and the campaign needs to come first. Okay, so we got a couple of ramps down that side. I'll come back and deal with the upper stuff there. I want this to be fairly symmetrical, but I don't want it to be exactly symmetrical. I like the organic look of maps, so I'm not gonna make it totally symmetrical because that will ruin that. Okay. So the idea is, if you're allied, well, I'll do it in a minute, but I'm going to put a wall between the two nests, and if you're allied with each other, there'll be a section of the wall which will be, it'll be something like a pebble or something that will be there blocking you if you're not allied, or it'll be open if you are allied. In a bit, I will talk about what's been going on with the team at the minute and what where we're up to in various things. This map is currently called The Bowl. Hence The Bowl. I'm planning to have back doors as well, so each side will have a ramp down into this area, which will be less fruitful than the centre, so there'll be less, what do you call them, points of interest in the centre. There'll be less points of interest in the outer layer, but it will be an option as an attack route. It will be a longer route, so you'll have to manually move your ants a bit in order to get them to go that way rather than cut across the middle. But the idea is that there is kind of a backdoor access, so there's not just one ramp into the enemy base, there's two. I've spent too much time with the AI. I'm glad you're enjoying the AI. Will you add the velvet worms? Good old velvet worms, though. The velvet worms kind of keep getting pushed back every now and again. We say because we got them to a point where they sort of work. I say sort of. It isn't. It's definitely not perfect. But they do kind of work. And there's actually more creatures planned for the next few updates, which are going to operate in a similar way. So basically, really long creatures. One of them is actually a really important creature that's kind of part of the objective. And we had a meeting about the fire ants a few months ago, where we decided that one of the things we should do pretty sharpish is finish the velvet worms. We all agreed, and we went off, and none of us did it. We all went back to working on the things that we were working on before. So they were meant to be worked on, but they kind of slipped through the cracks again as other things became more important. As I got deeper and deeper into Freeplay changes, Liam's fire ant bridges took him about 4 times as long as he thought they were going to take. He's done the water walking now as well. I'll speak about another mechanic which is coming in with the fire ant update as well. Which is starting to be worked on now. Which should, I don't know how long it's going to take, because Matt's been dragged off his. He hasn't managed to start to get back to working on the creatures on the fire ant update because of this, because he's been dragged into it. But it's so aphids are going to come back in the fire ant update. However, it's not just going to be they're not just going to be on the ground, they're going to be on plants. So similar to like the leafcutter plants, ants will be able to go up and harvest from the aphids that are on plants. However, there's you're going to have an option to move the aphids as well, and the way that's going to work is, I think it will be a toggle, like similar to attack and whatnot. And if you turn the aphid relocate button on, they will take the aphids from the plant that you're harvesting from and bring it to the closest plant you've got to your nest. So with the aphids, you'll have a choice. You can either harvest them where they are, or you can relocate them closer. I'll come back to chat now. Will you release the soundtrack? Yes, we will. There's actually a SoundCloud thing which has got some of the we've got some of the music pieces on it that Liam's updated every now and then. But I do intend to, on full release, I intend to get Liam to remaster all the tracks for a soundtrack, and then sell it probably just through Steam, and maybe a couple of the other stores that we sell on, just as a download file. Because I realise quite a lot of people have been asking about the soundtrack. I think a lot of people like it, so I think it'd be well worth us putting the time in to do, because we'd probably sell enough copies to make it worthwhile. Thanks for joining us, Plasma Gamer. I'm gonna leave it playing. That's good. Okay, cow killers are going to be fun to fight. Yeah, they're. I've got some interesting ideas for the mechanics for them. I'll tell you about one. They have like they're going to have a venom thorns effect. So like thorns, when you attack something and you take damage, like the spiny devils have, they have like a thorns effect. Well, the cow killers, if you attack them, you'll take venom damage. So that's just one of the things that they have. One of their abilities. What made you design this game? It's a funny one, really. It's kind of a combination. It's the style of the game comes from a shared love of Dungeon Keeper that we've got. So the tunneling out underground, and that actually comes from that. The insect theme, however, comes mostly from Matt. Matt was interested in his insects, so we kind of combine these two areas into the game, and then since then I've learnt an awful lot about insects. Ants just seem to be a really good fit for the Dungeon Keeper style of play. How strong a cow killer is going to be? Let me have a quick look. I can. We've got a big document which has got all the creatures coming in the. So that's it, right? The red velvet ant, which is obviously not an ant. So that's the cow killer. So stats wise, its speed is medium fast, health high, damage low, no resistances. Don't be put off by damage low though. It's got a chemical secretion is what I was talking about before. Which is a venom based thorns attack. So I think it basically doesn't do much damage until it's at low health. And then at low health it switches to a sting attack, which is rapid, which is rapid and dangerous. So basically you don't want to get it onto low health unless you're sure you can kill it. So that's that's going to be the kind of trick with it. And it also apparently flees periodically at low health as well, in between sting attacks. So there we are. There's a bit of information of how the cow killer is going to work. So it's going to be a fairly standard creature until you get it to low health, and then it's going to go crazy with its sting. I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but what will the fire ants upgrades be? Do you mean the... Well, first of all, there's two types of fire ants in the game. Yeah, so one of the types, as Blue Man says, when they hatch, they get a buff. So I think it's for five minutes. So basically, you want to use them in the first 5 minutes of them hatching. So you kind of want to lose your fire ants, so the next lot have the buff. So that's one type of fire ant, and the other one is if eggs have been on the tile for more than a minute, I think, then they hatch for free. So those ones, you want to use them in waves. So you use them, then wait for a minute, so all your eggs can hatch for free again. Then attack again. So when you lose them, the eggs will hatch for free. So yeah, it kind of promotes a very aggressive play style. There's other upgrades as well that they've got. One of the Formicarium upgrades, there's one called Last Laugh and Last Stand. So that's one of the options. So in Last Laugh, when the ant dies, it deals sting damage to the thing that killed it. A large chunk of sting damage to the thing that killed it. And then Last Stand, when it hits 0 health, its health goes back up to full, and it dies in the next. I think next. And it survives for the next 5 seconds or something like that, and then it dies. So yeah, that's some of the upgrades. Are there going to be more spiders like tarantulas, six-eyed sand spider, blah, blah, blah? There are going to be more spiders, yes. I can tell you in the fire ant update we have planned. I'm going to tell you what they are, but I'll see how many we've got planned. One, two, three. Looks like there's three. There's three different types of spiders planned for the fire ant update, and there's more planned for the final update as well. I'm not sure which one's going to be the better option yet, but there's always room for balance. So If Last Laugh sounds like the better option for you, you should definitely pick it first and see how you feel about it. Like I say, the stats, what the abilities do hasn't actually been the specific amount of damage and that sort of thing hasn't actually been decided yet. If it turns out people use one thing and not the other at all, then we'll buff the thing that's not being used. And there's a last resort if the other thing's just way too powerful, we'll nerf that. Okay, so I want to put in some bridges into the center, I guess. Bridges, some ramps into the center. I don't think there's any need to do smaller ramps. I may as well just do the larger ones. And I think I'm just going to have them... Yeah, that hasn't connected. Let me sort that out. Now, all the creatures for the Fire Ant update are actually planned already. And the in fact, they're not even just planned. Almost all their abilities are already in the game. I've added it all in for the Fire Ant update. It's not final, and they don't all work perfectly because they haven't got their models yet. So a lot of them will need changing to match things on the model. But let me save it before I duplicate one of these. Will there be pirate spiders? What are pirate spiders? I think that probably answers your question, but if I don't know what a pirate spider is. Typically feed on the spiders. They seem cool. We've saved. Let's come back to it. Okay. Duplicate that. Gonna need to trim this a little bit. That should be enough. Should I put one here as well? Kind of feels like it should have one. Or I could put... See, the problem with me putting one here is that it will cause these two players to be in contention. I mean, I suppose they are going to be anyway, if they're not allied. In fact, what I should do is, if there's only two players in the game, I should make sure it's never on the same side. In fact, I can use the alliance thing for that as well. So basically, it avoids ones that you're allied with. Is this too many ramps? I don't know. Define too many ramps. See, I could put one just at the bottom. I could put them 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put them like that, virtually anywhere you put a marker here, they will come down this ramp. Maybe this is fine. But you kind of define... 6 of one, half a dozen the other, isn't it? Try it where it is for now. We can have a go and see how it feels. I can have a go on this map before it gets decorated. Doesn't need its decoration to feel it out. It's probably fine. Okay, I'm not going to tell you specific creatures because we've announced some creatures for the Fire Ant update, and we'll announce more as time goes on. Hopefully pretty soon, as long as Matt gets back on it from, because at the minute Matt's like I say, he's working on some more mechanics. He's working on the aphids. The other mechanics that he needs to work on are the Titan mechanics, which is where you can climb on the back of large creatures. He's done the basic work for that, but he didn't. He definitely hasn't finished it. Right, that's probably okay for now. Right, I'm going to cut these areas off now. So 5. I think it's 5. Yeah. Okay. So the idea here is that you'll have access as long as you're allied. So if you're not allied, there'll be like a pebble here. If you are allied, there won't be. That's the theory. This side definitely feels like it's got more space. Yeah, it does. Not that that's a bad or a good thing. It might actually be a bad thing, actually. Further to walk to the centre. I think the distance to the centre is fairly central. There's not much in it anyway. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. these areas down here, I'd like to be kind of lots of areas of ground sticking up, kind of like canyons or cracks in the floor. So there is space here, and there will be a few landmarks, but not many. Or space for some landmarks, but not many. How can you become allied? The alliances system is currently in the open beta on Steam. So if you've got Imposing Undergrowth on Steam, there's a post on Steam which explains how to get into the beta, and it's got alliances in Freeplay, enemy colonies and alliances in Freeplay, so you can you set yourself on the teams. I've heard there's a couple of bugs with the Freeplay menu, with the new Freeplay menu at the minute. Some people have reported that the counterpart colony goes missing sometimes. But you can, and anyone with it on Steam, with Empires Undergrowth on Steam, can join the beta. Well, I say anyone who's on Steam with, who's got it on Steam 64-bit. Because it's not on the 32-bit. The reason I don't run betas on 32-bit is what I'm looking for isn't technical issues with the, well, it is, but it's not. I don't have technical issues between the different versions. What I'm actually looking for is feedback on gameplay most of the time. That's 4, shouldn't be 4, 3. So I only need it on one of the systems. That's why I don't run it on Mac or Linux either. And I understand people on those platforms would like to join in, but it's because making those builds, if I make builds for more than just the basics, more than just the Windows 64 system, making builds takes half a day then, rather than a couple of hours. It's literally just so I can rapidly get through it. Yes, the first Freeplay map design with enemy colonies properly in mind. To get the counterpart colony in Freeplay, you have to beat the other foot level. If you've beaten the other foot level, it should just become an option in Freeplay. Unfortunately, if you've beat the other foot level a while ago, before the Freeplay colonies was introduced, you'll need to do it again. Because before that, I wasn't actually registering when you beat the extra levels. I am now. I'm registering every victory. But it allows you to play as the counterpart colony, which have the trapjaws and the army ants and that. Yeah, there's a few secrets that have been put into the game like that now, like the two spider levels, the one that comes up on the full moon. There's also one that comes up on Christmas. However, I need to rebalance that. We'll perhaps do that in the stream in December. Might be a good idea. So as we're coming up to that coming out again this year. I think there's only small ramps in there, big ramps. Yeah, there's only large ramp. There we go. Okay, got the small ramps now. Two over there. Two over there. Two over there. There's an extra level I want to make in time for Halloween, so I might start work on that in a bit. And I'm juggling loads of stuff at the minute, but fire ants set in the, no fire ants aren't set in the desert. It's set in swampland, so the idea is that we've got lots of opportunity for fire ant bridges. Like swampy areas of North Carolina. I know they're not native to that region, but they are there. In our game, they're obviously an invasive species. Solenopsis imbitica. So we're setting them there. Also gives us lots of opportunity for some interesting creatures. There's a few reptiles coming as well in it. So that should be quite exciting. I'm excited to bring the Fire Ants update to people, but Plasma Gamer, good to have you back with us. But unfortunately, it's only ready when it's ready. We're getting close to the sprint where we really hammer it. At the minute, we're still working on mechanics for it. Want to make sure that all the plan mechanics are working before we design the levels. We've got plans for all the levels, but Liam actually, I noticed that in the source code he'd added the bridges now into 4.1 and 4.2. So the bridge points, they've all been added to the levels now. I think we're pretty much at the point where we're going to be putting those levels together. Is there going to be a beta testing achievement? Oh, do you mean an achievement for those who beta tested? That's an interesting thought, actually. problem with that is it then becomes impossible to 100% the game. If yeah, I think not, because I don't want to cause people to not be able to get an achievement just because they weren't there at the beta. I appreciate people helping us beta test. It's vital. The amount of issues discovered in the beta test, without people beta testing stuff, we would have a lot more complaints. And because we're only a small company, we haven't exactly got a testing team. But I don't like the idea of locking people out of achievements. I know some games like have 2 tiers of achievement. Like they've got ones that actually count towards the full-on achievement, and ones that are just what is it, Destiny calls it, feats of strength, or is that World of Warcraft? One of them does that. And basically, when things drop out of being achievable, they turn them into this other one, which is just kind of a historical thing. Now we could technically do that, but we don't have a we don't store the data ourselves for achievements. There is an offline version of the achievements, but it's all just saved in a save file. That would be very easy to hack. To be fair, achievements are easy to hack anyway. If you want to get the achievements for something, you can just hack them on Steam. I mean, I personally don't understand why you'd do that. I mean, surely that defeats the point of the achievements in the first place, but... guess some people just love seeing the numbers. Oop. Right, 2 was clearly wrong. There we go, that's connected now. Ah, need to extend this platform a little. I should probably save it. I haven't saved it in a long time. And our level editor isn't exactly the most stable. Well, the code we put in to allow us to edit levels. Right, I'm saving. Special badge. I like testing. I have 4 achievements remaining. Which 4 achievements have you got left? Ad break. Yeah, I think it's I think it automatically does the ad breaks. Should probably run the ad breaks to stop people from... If I run ad breaks myself when I go to the toilet and that, it stops people having to sit through them otherwise. Okay, so how are we doing? This is looking all right now. Starting to feel a bit better. Okay, so I need to decorate the area down here. Just isn't cricket. Get your own eggs. I can eat 50 eggs. And the spider level. Yeah, the spider level one's hard. So you've got 1-2 achievements to do there. Right, okay, let's think about this. So what do I need to do next? Okay, so currently the underground's still just the undergrounds from the other level. I need to decorate down here, so yeah, that needs doing. I need to position the points of interest. I need to add in the system that's going to add and remove the stones from either side. I should be writing some of this down really, so I've got a list. Okay, so I need to decorate lower ground. Allied surface exits. What else did I say? POIs need positioning. That's points of interest. Add it into the menu selection. Pebble, blocking, route to ally. Okay, so that should give me that's a list of things to do to take me to yeah, so yeah, it is only on at full moons. Around Halloween, actually, it will be available for a while as well. I think it's available for more than a week. Maybe it's about a week around Halloween as well. There were hints setting your computer clock will actually make it show up. Okay, so let's do the lower ground first. I say I want this area to be kind of. Okay, that is too. I want it to be kind of like cracked ground. Although I do want some points of interest down here. There are not tons of them. We'll see. Don't really want the player going behind here, so I'm just going to cut all this off. Both sides. Shouldn't really be an access route. Oh, feature. I don't know what that's going to do. Yeah, that messed that up. Alright, shift this out of the way for a second as we deal with this. Don't want that connected there. No, well that didn't help. Yeah, it's disconnected. Right, let's bring you back. Okay. All right. So, blocked off the back bits. Now, I'm going to do a few interesting things. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 points of interest, and one in the middle. Okay, so I want to leave space here, 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 and in the middle. So there's going to be 5 points of interest on either side. But other than that, I can do some weird stuff. So make sure I don't accidentally connect stuff. I don't want it. That's way too small for a brush. Can you play it? What thing on spider level do I kill first? The order I would go with is the ants. So the black ants that are in the bottom, which are south. So there's a black ant queen that's near the spider area. Don't go into the spider area, but go to the black ant queen in the area. Kill that one. Then I think you can take on the mole cricket next, but be careful because it is a bit powerful. So do the mole cricket, then do the wood ant queen, then do the hermit crab, then the then go in order from there, I think. The harvest music. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the tracks, people have said they really enjoy them. People tend to request certain tracks. Like I say, there are a couple on a SoundCloud. It's more than a couple, I think. But it includes some of the tracks that we don't use anymore as well. Some of the ones that have been in some of the trailers and things. That off there. That's probably enough for that area. Do something similar this side as well. So I know the areas I want to avoid. So I want an area there. Area here. The way system can just manage stuff like that now. Weird totems. We never used to be able to do that. It was a change that was introduced. Fairly recently. Obviously, all the decoration still needs to go onto this level. Okay, so that'll do for now. I'm not gonna spend hours and hours doing this. Looks like mazes for ants. Actually, most of them will be impassable. It's just more decoration than anything. Right, saving at the minute. But I'm gonna have a quick chat about what commits have been made to the source control. Whilst we're saving. Okay, so going back through the history. Have a look at the most recent stuff. Okay, so this is an important one. There's some changes coming to the call to arms system. Call to arms marker system. Call to arms is its name in Dungeon Keeper. The Dungeon Keeper call to arms flag is essentially where the marker system came from. Although obviously it's way different in our version. So the marker system has had a bunch of changes that are designed to make it. So there was a few changes came in the last patch. There's even more coming in with the next one, and what it does now is removing a marker is the same as moving it to your queen. Literally the same. There's been a queen style marker created behind the scenes, so basically moving markers around or removing them should have similar effect. So your marker consistency in behavior from the markers is what it should lead to. But if you're very used to the current markers, it might take a little bit of getting used to, because they might not react the same way as they used to in certain situations. Also, you might notice that cancelling a marker doesn't have as an immediate effect. Ants will slowly get pulled off the marker rather than immediately going home. Right. So in the current system, like I said, there's changes that have been done to this. But in the current system, what happens is I think it's about half your ants immediately leave the nest to go to the. I think it's even more than half actually. To go to the point, and the remaining ants that stay at home form the trail. So what you'll notice is they start to leave one at a time. So rather than all your ants just immediately going, some of them go, and then the rest kind of walk towards it at a set time periods afterwards to make it look like there's a trail of ants going backwards and forwards. And this is to make it feel like an ant colony, because ant colonies don't just all move at the same time. That's what it was done for. Now the new system which is coming in has a major change here, in that what will happen now is you'll place the marker down, pretty much all your ants will go out to it. However, the trail will form by ants turning round as they're going to it. So what you'll find is you'll place the marker down, all your ants go, and then a few of them start coming back home before they've got to the marker. And the trail will kind of form that way. So you place your marker, all the ants go out to it, and ants start turning around as they're going out to it. So you'll notice some ants go home before they get to the end of it. So it should feel more reactive, but whilst also maintaining this feel of there being a trail of ants. But we're going to need feedback on it, because it's a big change. We need to know how people feel about it versus the old system. And it can be tweaked, so it's not like it either needs to be on or off. You could put less ants in the trail. Yeah. I'm gonna ask Matt something, because yeah, 1 second. Right, so next is these points of interest. Right, okay, so these points of interest, I'm going to delete all but one of them. These are the places that landmarks can spawn. So they need to be all over the map, really. Yes, it does have some weird totems. I've yet to decide whether I'll keep them. I might end up shearing them off. But yeah, it has some totems. Maybe I should put like statues of insects on the top of them. Wait one sec. Computer heats up this room. I've been wearing headphones, haven't I, for no reason. No noise coming out of them. Okay, right, so these points of interest. I've pre-ordered the controversial. I've pre-ordered the Oculus Quest 2. I want to play Beat Saber hands-free, like white cable-free. I've got a PlayStation VR. It's actually mine. It's Matt's, but he lent it me ages ago and never asked for it back. But the problem with the PlayStation VR I've found is it's too much of a faff to get out. And I only really play Beat Saber in VR, but which I was enjoying, but it's too much of a faff to get out. So pre-ordered the Oculus Quest 2. I think a lot of people have ordered it because it's really cheap for a VR headset. They've got to be making a massive loss on that. I know lots of people are worried though because of Facebook data gathering. Facebook have so much data. And that's got to be why the headset's so cheap. We're coming back to chat. Ancient Ant Gods, yeah. Just me, but the new Freeplay thing has all landmarks. I don't know if it's just me. All landmarks defaulted to off. It shouldn't do. I think you've reported this before. Are they always defaulted to off? Because it really shouldn't. I did have a look at that one because it appeared in the bug tracker. I think Mike must have added it to the bug tracker. Couldn't get it to happen on my end. Right, I actually think I'm going to add an extra one on each side at this position. So the midway point of each side is going to have 2. I think there's space for it. Okay, other than that, how many have we got now? We've got 12. You need quite a few points of interest in order to make a map work correctly. Oh. Yeah, fixed. Yeah, it could be a bug. There's also a chance that it only occurs in certain situations. I mean, obviously it's a bad bug if we can replicate it. Is it just literally every time you open the new Freeplay menu, they're defaulted to off? Okay, so most of these points of interest are going to be in this bowl here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we've got up to 26 points of interest now. I think I need more than that. In order for Freeplay to operate correctly. I could give everyone a point of interest up near their base. I could also add a few here. Okay. So if I add one there, one there, some of these might need to be given more space, but we'll judge that based on playtesting. That one definitely needs more space. I'll do that now. Dog just yapping away outside. Right, so are you changing it to custom? So you're literally picking custom from the drop down? Because that might be the issue. It might be that when custom is selected from the drop down, that it... So that's information that I could use, because it might be that's causing it. That might be the bug. I mean, I'm not even sure I should have custom available from the drop down, because it turns custom on as soon as you start changing settings. I'm 30 points of interest now. Okay. I'll add. Maybe that's bad. I shouldn't really block the path down with a point of interest. So maybe if I add one each just behind your nest, maybe that'll be enough. Okay, so the other thing I want to check is, I'll save it first. These levels have a preset amount of landmarks to initially spawn. But the thing you got to remember about them is that if you have leaf cutters on the map, it doubles the amount of landmarks, because the leaf cutters get equal amount of landmarks to the other landmarks. So there needs to be at least about 2.5 times the amount of landmarks set to spawn. So assuming that is the truth, I'm not just lying there. If there's 34 spawn points, 13.6. Okay, so I can have a maximum of 13.6 landmarks initially on the map based on that rule. So what is it? Freeplay director. Should be like starting landmarks or something. Okay, so let's do 12. Landmarks per day, 10. It will be on custom by default now if you've had it set to custom. I added something in. I don't know if it's working properly. Where if you change the setup, it saves what you've changed it to. For next time you open up. Now it might not be perfect. So if you change it to Conquest, for example, it will be and close the window and reopen it. It should be set to Conquest. Okay, I've just thought of the next thing that I need to do, which I haven't done yet, which is the tunnel spawners. So the spawn points for the random creatures. So we'll do that next. How many of these do I have? There aren't actually many on Embankment. Okay, so again, I'm going to delete all but one of these. I'll just copy and paste this one. Okay, so first of all, I need to give oh god, what have I done? First of all, I need to put one of these next to everyone's base. Everyone wants one, everyone needs one. I'll have that on this rock just for fun. Actually, no, I won't. I need to make sure it's this one that it selects. So I'm gonna have it on the rear thing. I'll put it in better later, but for now that'll do. Just want to get the map to the point where I can test it. It'd be nice to finish the stream by giving it a test. Yeah, I'll have a look at it again. Medinburnic. Right, so everyone's got one next to their base. Next, guess I'll put one here in between your two exits. One for the other side of the map. Next. Right, I probably want 2 on each section here, so needs to be quite a lot in the bowl. Alright, Half-Nerd, good to have you with us. Joining us for the last half an hour, are you? Right. How are we doing? Okay, so the only areas left to do are the outside areas. So how many do I want there? I reckon 1 here, 1 here, 2 in the middle, 1, 1. Okay. The more of these you have, by the way, the less chance the enemies have of killing each other. Because most enemy fighting happens right at their spawners. So an embankment, you'll notice that enemies kill each other a lot more because there's not actually many spawners. Okay, it's just this one side left to go. At that point, we can probably see if the I'll probably check the map to see if it is working. I'll need to build the paths, and obviously I haven't put these in a very pretty manner, so that'll need sorting. Drag that miles underground. So I'm concentrating a bit here, trying to get through it. Whew. My eyes. Time to put the glasses on. I'm doing concentrating work. My eyes. Would you need to add some decoration skirt stuff on the outside? Yes, I will. Although I've spoke to Matt and he reckons I should stick with the he added in a system to add the skirt in automatically, but there's an issue where you can't put foliage on it. And it's quite a complicated issue for him to solve, so he reckons in the short term I should just stick to the old method of putting a landscape in. When creatures kill each other, it's free food. It is indeed, if you can get to it before it disappears. So yeah, you have like 5 minutes or something before food disappears. Sorry, it's auto-saving. I often try to stop it auto-saving, but here we are with it auto-saving. Yay! But I think that's everything. Okay, I got all those points in. Let's have a look on my list. POIs need positioning. Yeah, okay, so POI's positioning is done. Decorate lower ground, that's done. By decorate, I just meant, yeah. Right, allied surface exit. Okay, so I've added in a property to the surface tunnels, which I haven't used before. Alliance link. Okay, so the idea is that if you're allied with if you're allied with someone, that when one person is positioned, their ally is positioned in the other one that's alliance linked, unless there's nowhere for someone else to spawn, in which case they can take the slot. I haven't programmed alliance link in yet. I like how the tiny particles of the portal are in tiny boxes. Yeah, if you click on one. The particle effects. Not all of them weird. Oh, if they overlap the original thing, because I guess it's... So if I looked at it like that, it wouldn't be. Yeah. Hey Slug, hey Rempy. So ally spawn next to you. Yeah, that's the idea. I haven't implemented it yet, but I added in the variable. So next is the actual implementation, which is going to be a little bit of a headache actually, because the way that spawning's done at the minute needs to be reworked. Right, pebble blocking ally route. So I'll do that later. We're not doing that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna put this map into the Freeplay list. Pebble strikes again. Yeah. Well, the idea of the pebble is it's going to block this little access between the routes unless you're allied. If you're allied, it'll be open. So if you're enemies, you've got to go around. If you're allied, you can cut through. That's the idea, at least. Was this map inspired by the Tiberium Gardens map in Command and Conquer? No. I only I completed Red Alert. I completed it again recently because I got the remastered collection, but I didn't actually complete Command and Conquer. When I was young, I played Red Alert to death. We used to have it on the PlayStation, and we used to connect them. There was a link cable you could use to connect PlayStations together. So we would set up and have we set up a table in the lounge with these big CRT TVs on either end with a PlayStation connected to a cable, and we'd play 1v1s like that. Now playing Red Alert on the PlayStation via a link cable got really slow. So the game slowed down as you built more units. Particularly with the link, playing a link game. So by the end, like, everything was moving really slowly. I mean, it's a fair way to deal with it is just to slow the game down, because it didn't stop the game, but it took so long to play it by the end. Fun times. It's so much easier to play stuff now. I have an approximate date to when this releases. As soon as it's finished. I want to get this released quickly, so it's going to be part of the whole Freeplay update when that comes out. So I'll probably I will probably be bringing this map into the beta next week at some point. So I'm fairly happy with it at the moment. Certainly in beta test to a beta testing standard. It needs decoration, and I'll be doing that early next week. I'm going to try and do it. Matt normally does it, but I'm going to try and give it a go because I don't want to pull Matt away from what he's doing at the minute, because he's working on the core fire ant stuff. He's doing what I was talking about before, which is aphids, like aphids up plants, which is going to be in fire ant update. And he's like I say, we're working on this mechanic, which is quite complicated, where you can move them from a far away plant to a plant near your home if you want. I mean, you can either just harvest them or you can move them to the plant near home, making it easier to harvest, obviously. If the spawn thing is not implemented yet, how can you have an allied colony next to your colony? I can't at the minute. I will do soon. That's going to be that's going to be one of the things that I'm implementing probably early this week. I haven't got time to have a crack at it yet. What I'm going to do with the rest of my session now is try and add this map into the Freeplay menu. So we can select it, and then I'm going to give it a go. Actually, I should run the paths on it. There's a, I can't remember what the button is, but there's a button. There's a button somewhere. That's the one. Update tile pathing data. And it crashed. Something to do with the ramps. Update blocked neighbours. Get tile by location. Return null pointer. Right, I have a guess at what this is. Pretty sure I am right. But I can add crash protection in for this so it doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, that might end our session, because by the time the engine boots back up, I think our time is going to be up. Let me just bring you in. Okay, so basically here what's happened is it's run a get tile by location, which is the ramp's location, and then so that's a pointer to a tile, and then it's in the next line it's just said that tile, check its tile layer height. Now what's happened is that tile's nothing. This is returned nothing because there's no tile at that location. So it's basically said to nothing, check its tile layer height, and it's saying you've tried to access nothing here, and it's crashed. Called a null pointer error, and it's the most common of errors. Rampbase.cpp. just going to check it out, the source code. Give me a moment. Well, the fix is quite simple. So here we're only doing this operation if nearest tile exists. So if you do an if statement just on a pointer, if the pointer exists, it will be true. If it doesn't exist, it'll be false. So we're saying if the nearest tile does exist, do that. Now the issue is that lower layer height gets used further down. It's an int 8. So I noticed further down the page there was another use of this nearest tile. But he hasn't done anything if it doesn't work, so there we are. I've literally just added crash protection around that. I'm still doing an optional pop cap. I wrote that down in my book ages ago and I never got around to it. I think I realised how much of how difficult it was going to be to implement with the way I've implemented the Freeplay. I've implemented the Freeplay AI colonies. It's still on my list somewhere. I'll put it in this most recent list. To remind me. But currently, all Freeplay maps have 4 players in them. So, I mean, technically, all of them are 2v2 maps. But yeah, this one is set up, designed to be mostly a 2v2 map. It's the first map that's actually been designed with 2v2 in mind. However, you can play it in any other configuration. And that's the idea of the pebbles. So there's pebbles blocking the route between your colonies if you're not allied. But if you are allied, it opens the area up. That's the idea, at least. Right, so we'll have a quick chat before we end, because this isn't going to be done in time. So I'll just have a quick chat to you about where things are, what's going on. So I'm just going to bring up the history. Okay, so recent changes that have been going on in the code. So Liam's done an overhaul of trails. Now, with the next patch that comes out in the beta, this will be included, and it affects the way the trails work. So they will feel more like deleting a trail will feel pretty much exactly the same as moving a trail to the Queen. So not all ants will suddenly turn around and go home. It also means that if you move ants from one group to another in certain situations, rather than go all the way home then come all the way back, they will swap over more effectively and that sort of thing. So there's good and bad things about it, but what's going to be important here is that it'll be more consistent and more consistent behaviour. There's also been a big change to the way that ants come out the nest. So before, some of them came out in one big push and then the rest would form a trail, would come out slowly to form the trail. The way Liam's changed it to all ants will come out now immediately, and the trail will form by ants turning around before they get to the end of it. So all ants will come out initially, then some ants will start turning around as the trail moves forward. So then you'll end up with a trail of ants coming to and fro. I mean, there might be bugs in it, and it also might feel weird for some people. So we want feedback on that system. So either way, the trails have seen a big have seen a big chunk of work done into them, and they operate slightly differently now. Matt has been working on he was working on the implementation of like achievements in things other than Steam. So because we're going to be up on the Epic Store at some point. I think he's talking about GOG as well. Do they have achievements? If GOG Galaxy has achievements, that will be in there as well. Try and tie into that. Couple of bug fixes to do with the bridge system. And Matt has started work on Liam's added the bridge points into level 4.1 and 4.2. I know, it's just like he's done 4.1, doesn't like he got around to 4.2. Oh no, he has. He's done 4.1 and 4.2. So there's been more work done on those levels. And Matt's working on this aphid thing that I spoke about. So yeah, lots going on with the Fire Ant update now. How are the Fire Ants going? So yeah, a lot of that stuff's the Fire Ant stuff. I'm the only one that's not working on the Fire Ant stuff at the minute. Yeah, there's going to be more bugs. I think the bridge system is open. The way it works is very open to there being situations that we haven't considered. So I think we'll be seeing fixes to the bridge system for a long time yet, and then even more once it goes into beta. Oh, fun times, eh? We'll get there. I'm still working on the Freeplay stuff. So I've got this map I'm working on. I'm hoping that will be ready at some point next week. Other than that, I've got some bug fixes I need to do in Freeplay because some people have reported a few, like the Freeplay menu has some bugs. And what else am I doing? I want to get another extra level made. I haven't even started it yet, but it shouldn't be too hard, which will make use of the moving tile surfers. So a while ago, I implemented the moving tile surfers in preparation for what's coming in the next couple of major updates. I haven't used them yet, so I'm thinking of creating maybe a Halloween theme extra level where you've basically got a fun. It's just a level with nothing dug out to start with, like a big underground. There's no overground, and then the moving tile surfer things start spawning at the edge of the map and moving in. So you don't know what's coming to attack you, but you can see there's something big or something small coming to attack you. I would like to play the map, but I haven't added it into the menu yet. And it crashed when... What was I doing? When I tried to build the paths. Now I've added in a fix for that, but... Okay, so it was a ramp that caused it to break. So let's have a look. Ramp. First of all, I'm going to make sure there's no obvious... I think that is what you would call an obviously mispositioned ramp. Probably that caused it to crash. Okay, the rest of them seem sensible. I'm just going to nudge them all. Just to refresh their... There Just refresh their locations. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to try and build the paths again. Maybe I'll be able to get it in. The problem is, once I've done this, I then need to add the maps into multiple places in the Freeplay menu in order to be able to select it in Freeplay. And then at that point, you can start a Freeplay game with this map selected, and then we'll be able to test it. You're going to fix Towhead for the next update. I'll write it on the list. Fix Towhead. I'm not sure what to do with that yet. Whether to add extra ramps or just move the ramps closer to people's nests. What do you think? The ramps next to your nest in it, or extra ramps in it? Maybe both. Maybe a small ramp next to everyone's nest. Don't crash. Yeah, so but the reason it's so hard to get going is that there is only one access route to most of the resources, which are down in the center. So putting a ramp next to your nest entrance will give you easy access to the center, which is where most of the resources are. I think that's the issue with it. That it's so easy to get blocked off at the top. I mean, sometimes you'll get randomly lucky that you'll get a landmark spawn right next to you that's great, but most of the time, almost all the landmarks spawn in the bottom in Towhead. Right, so either way, that worked. So no crashes there. Right, now we need to get it into the Freeplay menu. If you play versus a cheating AI on the map, it becomes pretty much impossible to get anywhere near the resources. Yeah, because the cheating AI is powerful enough to push through any resistance that that they might face on the way, whereas it's so slow for the player to do it. So yeah, I think what's right is putting a small ramp next to everyone's tunnel entrance. I think that is the correct thing to do to fix it. Okay. I'm not looking at a map option for this yet. Pretty sure the level is just called the bowl. I should call it a salad bowl, seeing as it's a rainforest map. No, everyone would be expecting a salad bowl then. A literal salad bowl. Should we give it a go? Well, I think we'll just give it a go, and even if it fails, we'll call it a day. I think the only reason it's still going is because I was trying to get to the point where I could give the map a basic test. Pray. Yep. Pray for Slug. Gear. Alliances don't matter at the minute because they haven't implemented anything to do with it. Game type Conquest. 1v1v1v1. Pray for Slug. For the time for Slug is nigh. The time for Crash is nigh. Okay, it's going to take a minute anyway. Right. So I need to do the undergrounds. Do bowl undergrounds. Bowl description and map image. Look how much can be done in 2 hours. It's not been a bad session at all. Like, programming a game's weird because some tasks, like this one, banged out the basics of a new map in just a couple of hours. But like doing the fire ant bridges, that took months. It took Liam months to do. Oh look, it looks like there's water on the map. There isn't, but it. This looks to me like it's a working. There's murder going on left, right and centre. It was murder. None of the computers seem to have dug to the surface. Looks like they're about to. Hey, first computer to the surface. Oh, let's not attack them. Okay, so the map water level needs to be removed because there's not meant to be water on this map. Cheeky. The computer's immediately beelined for the fish. That's going to cause contention there. Right. I want more resources in the center of the map. So I think I'm going to add, maybe try and slot 10 more points in the center to kind of focus them. And then once I've done that, I'll add more points in. You don't realize how big the map is when you're editing it. Like these ones, it looked like I was squeezing them in, but there's loads of space there. This would be beach or rainforest. This is meant to be rainforest. I think this is one of the rainforest textures. It's just not the it's not the basic one. It's not the one that's used most. So it's probably the one that's used least. Okay. So anyway, that's enough. That worked beautifully. More points of interest in center on bowl. More starting landmarks. And landmarks in general. On bowl. Wanting to see AIs fight. Yeah. I'd like to see computer versus computer. Oh, you mean you'd like to see a way where you can turn yourself into a computer player rather than... Yeah, I'd like to see that. Well, it's Sunday, so after the stream, I'm done for the day. And if it was a weekday, I would continue working until 5 o'clock, where I need to go cook dinner. But yeah, it's a weekend, so I am going to have a break. I'm done for the rest of the day. Even before counterparts win everything. Right, so yes, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a cracking stream, a bit longer than normal. But we were very successful there. I managed to get the bowl map from a basic skeleton to functional. If not it's not decorated yet, but functional. Thank you. Good for you. Good to have all you lot join me as well. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you later in the week, where we'll do another stream, probably Friday. So I will see you then. But in the meantime, enjoy what's left of the weekend and have a good week. Ta-ra.